you're in WeChat and you're doing your normal stuff. You're chatting with friends. You've got a group chat. You're doing things. In each of those conversations, you can have an agent now. And your agent will be listening in to your conversation the same way your assistant might be listening in on your phone call. And will chart everything down and will chime in. Here's some information on that. So you're sort of adding agents to a lot of human activities, some of which could be communication-based. Tencent does a lot of communication. And others could just be like, hey, I'd like to play Fortnite, but I want to have a team. So instead of me playing solo, I'll have 3 agents that work for me play with me, and we'll be a team. And we'll I'll have a sniper, not Fortnite, but I'll have a sniper, and they're all independent sort of thinking, but they're on my team. So there's all these interesting use cases coming out of there, which is really kind of fun. So definitely Tencent AI-based, Alibaba AI-based. Galbot, I would take a look at. People pay attention to Unitree, which is the robots company out of Hangzhou that, it does backflips and it's crazy. But Galbot is sort of the first embodied intelligence version of a robot I've seen that's going for scale. They're moving very quickly. That one is pretty interesting, Galbot. And then I would keep an eye on maybe these companies that are going international. So if you go to Brazil now and you do e-commerce, everybody's talking about TikTok Shop. Because a lot of these Chinese companies are going very aggressively into Europe, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. So JD, which is the dog right there, they have a new retail operation in Europe. They're a retailer in Europe. They've been doing acquisitions in Germany and the UK. So a lot of these companies, which I think is actually very good for Europe, because I think the level of service your average consumer gets in Europe from e-commerce is quite low compared to what we get in Asia. So I'd like everyone there to get a nice upgrade. And also the merchants and brands. So I think a lot of these companies are going to show up as competitors, which is a challenge to the incumbents, but good for consumers and merchants, generally speaking. So yeah, keep an eye on Joybuy, JD, Joybuy in Europe. Keep an eye on TikTok Shop, Southeast Asia, Latin America. They're moving pretty quick.